When someone thinks of a high school student, they usually think of someone who thinks that they're on top of the world and carefree and unburdened by the stresses of the world. This, however, isn't true. The level of stress and the percentage of mental health disorders is increasing, but not all hope is lost. There are many schools and many organizations that are coming up with solutions and ideas to help prevent and even cure this epidemic. When someone pictures mental health issues, they usually think of an adult having some kind of stressful situation, whether it be something with their car or a medical emergency. But a study done by the Adolescent Wellness Academy said that 50% of lifelong mental illness cases start by the age of 14, which is surprising to me because I didn't realize that these kind of issues started that young. Another article by the New York Times says that 70% of teenagers that were surveyed by the Pew Research Center said that anxiety and depression were major problems within their friend groups. And this shows that this has become such a widespread problem that even the New York Times is getting involved by writing articles about it, informing people. Last but not least, Slate magazine did some research saying that the average anxiety level of high school students in 2011 was the same as the average psychiatric patient in the 1950s. This tells me that this has become such a problem that it really needs to be addressed, and sometime soon, preferably. But not all hope is lost. There are many schools and organizations that are trying to make the conditions better for the students of this country. When someone thinks of mental illness, they think that it's unavoidable and that there's not really any way to prevent it. This is not true. There are many ways that someone can improve their mental state or keep it from declining in the first place. First and foremost, the quickest and easiest would be just a quick Google search. Another option for students is to go to their school counselor and ask where they might can get professional help. Speaking of lots of different ways, I have an infographic here that I'd like to share with y'all. Let y'all look at it as I continue my speech. But it's not only the students that are trying to help themselves. Many schools and a few state governments are coming up with solutions for this problem as well. To quote Slate magazine, faced with high stress levels amongst adolescents and mental health crisis that includes worsening suicide rates, some states are now allowing students to take mental health days. And this, in my opinion, is a good example of how schools are trying to really help their students and not just let them become another statistic. And while some might take advantage of this, you have to be able to take the good with the bad, especially since there's a lot more good than bad in this situation. All of this to say that while there might be an increase of mental illness, there's still hope. Lots of different schools and organizations have been coming up with ideas to fix this and to show that young adults aren't alone in this fight. And to recap, there are many different ways that someone can improve their mental state. First, there's a quick Google search. Then you can talk to your friends and family. And last but not least, you can talk to a professional. And all this does is helps the young adult realize that they're not alone in this fight. That the people around them want to help them and want to see them succeed. So if you feel like you need to reach out to someone, please do. No one will judge you for it, and you feel much better for it afterwards.